I like that it lets
Okay,
you know now.
guys, welcome to an episode of the Satirical Life Coach. And with us, we have Ms. Katie Blue.
Hello.
Hopefully, she's not too blue today, especially after a session with us. And like I said, I'm Esther Forrester, and I'll be giving Katie some advice that's funny. If anyone would like to become a part of this, please hit me up on Facebook at Esme4 or on Instagram at NYTrekker. If you dare be one of the brave and become part of this. So, Katie, what can we help you with today?
All right. Well, I had to think on this because there's not too many things in my life I need advice on. There's a lot of things I just need to do, but there's not too much I need advice on. But this is something that I've asked a lot of people. I've been thinking about for a long time.
Wow.
And I think maybe you'll be able to help me out with this. And
Well, now
it
I
might
feel
not
a lot
seem
of
super
pressure,
serious
but
to a
I'll
lot
do
of
my
people, but
best.
to me, this is serious. And this is, should I cut my hair? Let me stand up so I can show you just how long it is.
No, I don't know that it's that long because you can't walk on it. I only think
It
it's
does
too
get
long if it went all the way to the floor and you walked on it.
It's not
Does
quite
it go
walk
into
on
the
it
toilet?
level.
When you go
Can
to the
sit
bathroom,
on
does
it.
your hair go into the toilet?
Doesn't go into the toilet. I don't think I've ever had that problem, but I usually have my hair tied up a lot of the times or braided. I haven't had I've had the issue of washing my hands when my hair will get like in the water. I've also, if I'm like cooking, I have to be very careful of my hair.
Yeah, because the hair could catch on fire.
Yeah.
You know, and I have this really thick curly hair, though granted it's not quite as long as yours. But one time it got caught because I'm a tennis player, and one time it got caught in the racket strings. So that was pretty harsh. And a lot of times it gets caught in different things. So I kind of know where you're coming from. But what about like during sex? Has it ever gotten in the way if you're trying to like do something or?
Well, I'm asexual. I've been celibate
You're
for a very long time. Yeah, I don't
how
date,
long?
I don't have sex. October 2017 was the last time I had sex.
And what made you decide you're asexual, if you don't mind me asking?
I don't know if I really decided on it. I think that it's something they say sexuality is a spectrum and whatnot.
Sure.
I think I have had a lot of sexual trauma in my life. So
Sure.
it could honestly be, a conglomeration of all of that has sort of just made me not want to partake in it anymore. Or, it could be that I've always been asexual and,
You just didn't
that's
know
sort
it,
of
but you
added
kind
to
of
the
now.
trauma of the already traumatic experiences.
So you now have more of an awareness of it, is what it is. Not that you decided, but you became more aware that that's what you are.
I guess. And yeah, it's also just I haven't been interested in anyone in a very long, long time. I'm just not really attracted to anyone in a sexual way. I probably would be open to a romantic relationship with a partner, but I haven't met anyone that I have desired to have that
But are
with.
you living in North Dakota? Is that why? Because you live in North Dakota and there's nobody around.
I live in North Dakota. I don't live in North Dakota.
You don't live in North Dakota, so there are people.
Yes. Yeah, I grew up on Long Island. I'm now living in Paramus, New Jersey, so like right on the other side of the George Washington Bridge. So definitely a lot of people around. I'm in New York City quite frequently, Jersey City, Long Island. So I don't think it's the lack of people that's an issue.
Horrible people
I'm hanging around. I have that actually as a joke in my stand-up bit. Say maybe I'm asexual or maybe I'm just hanging around ugly people. But I go to like comedy shows and stuff like that. So I'm meeting comic guys,
The thing that can be a challenge
women also
is that sometimes when you meet comedians and then it's very difficult, I think, for some comedians to break out of their comedy in real life, and you're always just trying to land jokes, even when you're just like going shopping or, trying to decide what to wear or what movie to see. You're always just trying to land jokes, I guess.
I definitely see that when I'm like around other comedians. I feel like anything you're doing turns into a competition of like, how funny are you?
It's true, right?
Yeah.
That everything
I don't have
just
a
turns
lot of
into that.
Yeah. I don't have a lot of comedian friends really. So I don't
That's
have
a
a lot
smart
of
choice.
friends,
No,
period,
just kidding.
but
I
I
can't
really
say that
hang out with
because
comics. I'm sorry, what were you saying?
no, I can't say that's a smart choice because probably only comics are going to end up watching this. But so back to your hair.
Oh yeah.
I mean, what do
Took a
you
hard
feel
left
the
turn.
hair means to you? Because I also don't want to like cut my hair.
Mm-hmm. I feel,
Like,
yes, I feel like you could definitely relate. That's why, when you came up, I was like, okay, good. She can
oh,
my struggle here.
like I feel like it just, I don't know, it just has like a feel to it where it flows and it's like soothing to have your hair coming down your back, and just when you wash your hair in the shower and it's all wet, I don't know, there's just something about it that like I couldn't cut my hair. I mean, I have another reason too. Like when I was younger, I had short hair because my mom didn't want to be bothered with my long, thick,
Mhm.
curly hair. And I had really short hair, like a boy. And then like I went to like my sister's friend's apartment complex, and there was this 90-year-old woman, and this was when I was in 6th grade. And she said, does he want to come inside and have cookies about me? And from
Mhm.
then on, I was traumatized, and I'm like, long hair, no matter what. So I can totally relate to like wanting long hair, but with your hair, like if you cut it, would it be a little bit, a lot? Like, what would you do?
Okay, well, here's to go into my backstory a little bit. I used to change my hair all the time. I think I don't know why I don't want to cut it. I'm just very like, I don't know. I'm literally and figuratively, I think, just very attached to it at this point, and I don't really like change. But when I was a teenager, one thing I guess I didn't mind changing was my hair. I would cut it all the time. I'd dye it all the time. I've had like every hair color. I've had
And how was that for you?
mohawk. I've had like complete, like truly like shaved sides. I had like pixie cut. Had all sorts of, I had a mullet at one point when I was growing out the mohawk. That was an awkward phase. But I've been growing my hair out for such a long time now. None of the hair that I have now has ever been dyed. So what do they call, like virgin hair, I guess.
Virgin hair.
So that's sort of, I think, a big part of it, is that the ends are not so great. I definitely need to do a trim regardless, but I'm blaming that on the pandemic. But like the majority of my hair itself is not so bad because I don't really use too much like heat treatments, like straightening my hair daily or anything like that.
Sure. So it's been left alone.
Yes. Yeah. And so this is probably like the healthiest that my hair has ever been. I mean, I definitely need a trim, like we need a couple inches off.
But you could easily
regardless,
do that.
but,
like,
oh, for sure. But I
whether you want to
I guess
trim or
more of
not.
a, what's that?
I mean, do you feel that not wanting to change your hair correlates with not wanting to make changes in your life? Or do you feel maybe there are too many changes in your life? And so the one thing that can
No,
stay
I'm
consistent,
definitely a person that doesn't like change in general. Not much
in
of my
general,
life has changed. Let's see, in the past, when is March 2020? When is that? How many months ago was that? 18 months ago now, something like that.
March to April,
Nothing
April
has
to May, May to
changed.
June, July. Yeah, about a year and a half ago.
Yeah, I've been smoking weed and playing video games for like a year and a half now. Nothing has really changed in my life at all. So it's not really too much of like, lack of control. I need something to,
And you're
have
able to
control
keep
over.
playing video games and smoke weed. No
Oh,
one's
I
going to
can
stop
keep
that.
doing this forever, but I have to get a job. Unemployment's about to run out.
So the unemployment has helped you play the video games, but you'll have to get a job. So that's a change.
Yeah.
So maybe you want to, if you did cut your hair, you would want to first get used to the job before you cut your hair. It's like
that's
one change
something
at a
I'm
time.
considering is maybe more professional. I know I keep saying this, I definitely need at least a trim before I start like interviewing places.
Yeah, it would make a good impression.
I do sort of look like a crazy person.
You feel you look like a crazy person?
A little bit. I feel like I look like someone that's maybe a little too into Jesus. You know what I mean? And I'm Jewish.
Wait, I thought you were Jewish.
I am Jewish. I feel like that's just the vibe you get when you see girls who have very long natural.
Well, I have to tell you that my aunt had really long hair like yours.
Yeah.
And I think she's pagan. So I don't know but
witchy vibes
I feel
too.
that
yeah.
Some jobs want to hire crazy people. And so looking like a crazy person for some jobs could help you. Like,
yeah,
for example,
I don't know if those are the kind of jobs that I want to work at, though. You know what I mean? Because that would mean my coworkers would be crazy, and I don't really want to be dealing with that at this point in my life.
What would be crazy?
Like, that would mean my coworkers would probably be crazy, and like that's not what I want to be dealing with in my life at this point. Ideally, I'd like to find something where I could work from home. That would be really nice. But short of that, like something chill behind a desk, you know what I mean? Like a 9 to 5. I used to work as a funeral director, so I've worked with a lot of strange people.
Are a funeral. Now, funeral director, I think it benefits you to be crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
That's definitely a job.
I left the field. I mean, I really feel like I wasn't in the field for too long. I was in for 2 years when I was in school, and then out of school, I was in it for like 3 months. And I had a boss that was just so crazy. Because when I left school, I moved to a different state. So the place I was in when I was in school was fabulous, amazing. Then I moved back
the new place
coast where I grew up. And yeah, everyone else was like cool, I got along with, but the boss was just truly unbearable. And so I left, and then I was working at a dental office that got shut down because of COVID. And now I've been doing.
That was the dental office for people that were dying.
No,
and then
you're
arranging the funerals for people who died from the pain in the dentist office.
No, it was just a regular dentist office. Although it was the first job I've ever had where I just got to sit behind like a desk all day.
So you want a job where you're sitting behind a desk, but it doesn't matter what you're doing behind that desk?
Not really. No, as long as I'm not like murdering children behind the desk, you know what I mean?
Now, what job is that they murder children?
I don't know. I'm sure.
I mean, I feel like there are jobs where you'd be murdering children.
Something with Epstein, you know, like lizard
So we just need a job. We don't have to murder children.
Illuminati. I'm like, where is my eye? I can't.
But I mean,
I think like I'd rather not murder animals either, preferably.
But yeah, we're at some of the funerals for children and for animals that you directed.
Well, I wasn't killing them, but actually I've never done an animal funeral because I think that's like a specific thing. That would not be like a funeral director. But I've never had a child. A lot of old people.
I assume.
I'm trying to think, like the youngest person was probably in their 20s maybe, but I never dealt a case with a child.
But you don't want to be a funeral director.
I don't know if I'd never want to go back into that field. Honestly, there's still an exam that I need to take to get fully licensed. And I feel at this point, I'm not going to pass at all. I've also just been thinking about, I have 2 associates, which is so stupid. So I'm probably going to see if I can get my bachelor's. Hopefully some of the credits will transfer over, but I'm hoping I can.
What would the
either in the
bachelor's be
spring or next fall. Well, that's something I've been thinking about also. I'm pretty sure my long-term goal would be probably to get a master's in library sciences, but a bachelor's probably in business and maybe marketing.
But do you really, I mean, actually, you really do have to market libraries because a lot of people don't go to the library anymore. They just get everything online.
There's
so you really do need a marketing
background like that.
If you want to get people to come to the library.
Yeah, especially public libraries. Like there's a lot of events and like things that they offer. Like my local library, they like help you with your taxes during tax season. Like there's so many things that I love the library.
That definitely needs marketing.
I
helping
mean, there's
people with
so
their
many things
taxes
people don't
definitely needs a
know about.
marketing.
I mean, they have video games at the library. A lot of people do not know that. I feel like people like my age,
That
like
should be getting
millennials
people
and
in.
the younger generation, they don't really go to the library too much. When I'm at the library, I'm seeing like, honestly, a lot of older people, sometimes young kids there with usually their mom.
I mean, that's a typical trip. The library is a great trip for families who don't have any money. If they don't have money to do the fun stuff, they just take
Maybe they're a great trip
the
for
expensive
anybody who
stuff. They
doesn't have
take the
money.
kids to the library.
Libraries are awesome.
I mean, it's true, right? Because there's so much good free stuff at a library, whereas everything else in life, you have to pay for. It's like you wake up and breathe and you're going to end up getting charged for something. Like,
oh my gosh, if they tried to introduce like the library as a program now in like 2021, it would absolutely be shot down. People would be like, no, you want our tax dollars to go to what? Absolutely not.
it's true. If it was a new idea, people would be like, well, I'm not. But it's true.
Absolutely
Like the
no.
library has so many good free programs, and the only people who take advantage of them are old people.
And you
Nobody
see,
else.
when I
And
was living in
people with kids
California,
who
I
are
saw quite a
poor.
bit of homeless people at the library. I feel like that's certain areas you will see because it's a shelter for when the shelters, you know, are like during the day we're closed. You
Because
have to
it's
go
true,
somewhere.
during the day you
Go to the
can't leave the
library.
shelter.
Mm-hmm.
So you know what we do? We put the
Computer
homeless
access.
people to work in the library teaching the young kids video games.
Well, you know, people will like it's access to like computers where you can, you know, apply for jobs or apply for
I mean,
things
that's true. They
like
can really, it's true
library.
that when you're in the shelter, you're not always allowed to be there during the day. So you have to leave. And at the library, you can have free computer access and you apply for jobs. And, you know, I wonder if the library would be a good place to meet men. I guess that's like the worst place to meet men is the library.
I'm sure there are libraries that like other services will do like a dating night or like, you know, a speed dating thing at the library.
I mean, a library could really do amazing things in the community where there could be great community programs. But I feel if you want to be a librarian, I don't think having long hair is a negative to being a librarian. Like, I feel like it's
That's
not a
true,
job
but
where
I
you're
think that's a
expected to have
long-term.
what?
I think that's more of a long-term thing. So I guess I could always grow it out again, but you know, by the time I actually get my master's degree, I have at least
Are you going to
probably
get
4
it?
years in front of me. I think that's the goal for right now, but this is like sort of 5-year plan sort of thing. If I could, you know, earliest I would even be able to enroll would be the spring semester. And that's, you know, who knows if I'll even get my shit together by then. First things first, I need a job like anywhere. And then I can
You'll
sort
take
of
a
start
job as
worrying
long as
about
it
going
doesn't
back to
involve
school.
killing children.
Yeah. Yeah. Any behind the desk job where I don't really.
But you don't want a job that's like DoorDash where you're going to deliver, because that would be pretty easy to get.
Yeah, I don't think my car could honestly handle it at this point. I put so many miles on my car already, just like driving to shows and mics and things like that, that I don't know if my car could really handle.
Car to get to shows and mics.
Yeah, and I have a lease car and I only have like a year left. So I think I'm already reaching like the certain like, I don't know, like miles
every
limits.
year I travel so much for my tennis and my comedy. Every year I go like to 30,000 miles. I'd be in terrible shape if I had a lease car, but I'm
never doing a lease car again. Just putting that out there to everyone. My parents convinced me it was a bad idea. Next time I'm gonna finance a car to buy it.
Because it's true, it's better. Like some people like a lease car because then you always have a newish car, but they own you.
I don't care
and
about
like
that.
Why can't you drive more miles? Like what if you want to drive to like Mexico or something? And you know, but what about a phone sex operator or I don't know.
Well, I'm an asexual, so I don't know if that would really be super up my alley.
That would probably be one job you might be not be qualified for. But what about like, I don't know, you not a bouncer, maybe you could be like
bouncer energy.
I don't know if you could be a bouncer. Maybe you could be, because you give off the vibe like I don't care if you do anything, and then people will be like, okay, you can do whatever you want, and then you pounce right on them when they. But you want a job behind the desk, like maybe like Flo from Progressive, like that kind of a job.
Like insurance sales, I would do that, honestly. I feel like that's also something I could probably do working from home. That would be
You could
sick.
easily do that, or like life insurance or stuff like that. You can easily just do from home.
Yeah. I don't know if I would get like paid enough. You know what I mean? I feel like
Well,
that
with
might be
that,
something that's like $13 an hour. And I'm like, I need more like 20, but
it's true.
um,
Like wages just haven't kept pace with the cost of living a lot
yeah.
of the time. So people are forced to work like 4 different jobs. And I saw an article today that there are some people that work from home with their main job, and then they're also doing a side hustle because like they're
Yeah.
working from home. So no
That's
one's gonna
crazy.
do like, I don't know, like there are so many different things. If you can make things and then sell them on Etsy, I don't know what you'd make, but like people will buy anything these days anyway. So there's like a market for everything. But
I've been
I
trying to
haven't
sell
been,
this pair of jeans for a long time now.
and
And
they
I'm about
won't.
to get a third podcast. I've talked about it now. Trying to
What
sell these
size are the jeans and
jeans.
what brand?
They're boys size 16 Lucky Brand jeans. Trying to fucking sell them. I bought them at a thrift store. Turns out I'm too fat for them. So they're like brand
How
new.
about for my nephew Milo? I think he's at like a 12 or a 14 now, but eventually in a few years he's
$10.
down to be a 16.
$10. You got these jeans, man.
I can
Yeah, I
Venmo it
asked my
over and we'll
neighbors.
give them to
My neighbor has
Milo.
a son, but he's too small apparently. He's like 7 or something.
Who has a son?
My neighbor has a son.
Well, Milo's 10. So I'm pretty sure he's like a 12 or a 14 now. So in a few years, I'm pretty sure he'll wear them. And $10 is good. Because
oh, dude.
yeah, you think that your size is boys 16. That's the size
I
you
was
like to
wrong
buy.
about that. I can almost get them on. They're too tight. You know what I mean? They're just not comfortable. Like I could do it if I'm like stuck, but I'm like, what am I gonna do this to myself for? Why?
But yeah, because
So
especially if you're getting a desk job where you have to sit there all the time, you don't want to be wearing stuff that's practically like pinching your skin. And where did it go? Yeah, you don't want to be wearing something that's like pinching your skin or something like that if you have like a desk job.
I know that what is it? A 28 waist is too big for me, I think. So I'm
28.
trying to find, yeah, the
I
28.
usually wear like a 25 or a 26,
Yeah.
but I found these jeans, Joe's jeans, that are a 26, and usually I can comfortably fit into that size, but they're just too
I
small.
find it hard to find men's 26
Why wouldn't you just get
jeans
women's jeans?
because women's jeans are not as comfortable and their pockets they're like half the fucking size. Men's jeans are just so much
It's
more
true. It's like, how are
comfortable.
we supposed to get our hands
So
in the pockets? The pockets just like create more. I mean, overall, life is made harder for women. Like when you think about it, how uncomfortable they make like a bra, how
I
uncomfortable
don't
they
wear
make.
bras.
You don't.
No.
Good for
Definitely don't
you.
wear bras. Yeah.
Who
I
needs
feel like
bras?
honestly, I don't super really need to. I'm wearing a tank top underneath. Is this going to be on video? I don't really care. I'm not showing really my boobs. I'm just showing myself in a tank
No,
top. But like, I don't really need a bra. You know what I mean? Like, there's
it's
not much
true.
going on. So I don't
I mean, we're
really,
always like, maybe nobody needs a bra. Like it's just basically a
really,
way of
honestly, nobody
restraining.
does.
Like they just pinch and they hurt, and guys are gonna have to rip them off anyway, and they're hard to open. So maybe we don't really, but these are the jeans.
I've heard that bigger chested ladies really need the support of a bra.
Probably like
I know there
these are
are
my
comfortable
jeans.
bras out there.
These are my jeans. I feel like if you look at them, like they should fit. And but they just don't, damn it. And
Yeah.
it's causing like major pain in my life. But no, I had kind of forgotten about them. But
Oh no, I'm sorry to remind
no,
you.
but it's all good because I tried to do like a live where I would try to get into them. But I heard if you spray them with water and then you add vodka and then you pull them out and you like hang them to dry like that, that then they'll stretch out. But then I bought a squirty water squirt thing that I ordered on Amazon, but then it broke. So then I was forced on the live to just stretch them, but I was unsuccessful at that. So perhaps I get another squirty bottle and try again, but I don't know how good of a live that is. Like maybe it's just a silly thing. Like everyone's like, just get a bigger size. And I'm like, that's like telling a girl to get a bigger size is like telling a guy to give up on his sports team, I think. Like, it's just like traumatizing for me. Maybe not all girls. Maybe I'm just the one who's like a
I'm
little
not
nutty.
super concerned about that because I was, especially as a kid and especially as like a drug addicted teenager, I was like on the opposite spectrum where I was very skinny to the point I really was like bullied for that.
Oh,
And so I think like size medium, fuck yeah, you know what I mean? I'm like, that's
wait, where
awesome.
you're
That's
happy. If
great.
you're getting a medium, you're like, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
normal.
honestly. But I do, and I get the struggle in it. I mean, it from my own experience, just like with size issues, I absolutely am sympathetic. And then to like that degree, my mom is very much concerned with, she's always been like on fad diets and, concerned about sizes and stuff like that. I think to the point where I'm sort of like apathetic about it because I'm just like, I cannot
Because
fucking
it's
stress
true
about
with
this shit.
everybody that if our parents are really concerned about something, whatever it is, we're like, well, screw that. Like, my mom's always like worried about any number of things. I'm like, screw all that. Like, because our parents are basically, sometimes we just feel like if our parents think about something, it must be wrong. Like, it must be just stupid. But with your hair, like, I don't know. Like,
Well, it would
even if
definitely
you,
have to be after Halloween because I want to be Princess Buttercup from the Princess
oh
Bride.
my God, that's so cool.
So yeah, I found a dress for it at the thrift store. I'm really excited. I need to find a oh my God, a belt. There we go. Like a braided belt to wrap around. But I feel like
Wow.
I'm very excited for that. I have absolutely no plans for Halloween, but I got my costume all figured out,
See,
even
but
if
then
I'm
that
just
means you're
sitting
going
at
to get
home.
some plans.
What's that?
That means you're going to get some plans.
I don't think so because I feel like this happens every year where I like plan my costume and then like nothing fucking happens.
Well, what about like trick or treating? I mean, I
There
feel
are no
everything
trick or
should be.
treaters, but at least last year, apparently there was some by my parents. So I think this year I'm gonna try to go to
It's
my
true.
parents'
Last year,
house.
people didn't go trick or treating, maybe
Yeah.
because of COVID.
And in previous years, I was living in California, and it's not so much a thing out there as much as it is on the East Coast.
I guess not.
Yeah, people didn't really dress up. I didn't ever get trick-or-treaters or see trick-or-treaters or see kids dressed up like anywhere. People didn't really like put stuff out for Halloween, like decorations and stuff. And I was like, man, this is kind of lame.
It's
Um,
true. Like, why would they do that to kids?
I don't where I grew up, I mean, I still to this day, if you go like to my neighborhood, people put up like decorations all
Like, that's
through
supposed to be a
October.
fun part. Like, how can you take that away from kids?
I
Now,
do
where are you from
think
on
it's
Long Island?
I'm right truly like pretty close to the border of Queens on the South Shore of Long Island. If you know where Valley Stream is.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm in Lynbrook, so most people don't know
I'm
where
from the
that
other
is, but
end.
it's right next to what?
I'm from the other end, from Portia,
Oh,
but
okay.
I know Limbrook and stuff because I played tennis at this place in Limbrook. And my sister lives,
Fort time.
yep,
Yeah.
yep, that was my home for a
Yeah.
while. So
I'm like,
playing
it
on a
must
team
be.
there.
Oh, there's also South Middle School now that I think about it, also
Yeah,
has tennis courts, but
but yes, Sport Time Limbrook was my home for a while. So
yeah.
I know Limbrook pretty well. So you're from Limbrook. Ray Romano on Everybody Loves Raymond. I think they're in Limbrook.
Yeah, but it was not like filmed in Lynbrook.
It's true a lot of times for a lot of shows that even
Yeah.
if they say it's in one place, it wasn't filmed there.
Well, we have this place called Trainland in Lynbrook, which is just a store for trains and stuff like that. And the episode of The Sopranos, spoiler alert, where one of the characters, I won't even say who, it's been off the air for what, like 15 years, but I won't say who, a character gets killed in this train place.
Right.
And it was filmed in Limbrook at Trainland. And they still to this day have posters up being like, Sopranos filmed here, like just trying to get
It's true.
people.
Any place, if they're the site of something like that, they definitely won't hesitate to tell you.
Yeah.
Right when you walk in, they're gonna let you know.
I think, yes, you don't even have to walk in. I think they have signs like right on the window, like pretty big, like Sopranos filmed here. Please stop and come in and buy
case you
stuff.
missed it. I'll have to tell my sister. I'm sure her kids would like to go to Trainland, though it's probably like an expensive trap.
Yeah,
So
I think
from
it's for
Limbo.
like serious train hobbyists, not like toy trains. I think it's like, you know,
It's for people that really love trains. Like this kid who went to my high school was kind of like that. Like he had a train going around his house, I think.
I've honestly always kind of wanted that. I'm not someone who's super into trains, but I feel like I'm someone who could be. You know what I mean?
Maybe that's what you need. Maybe you'll work at
Just
a
a
train
bunch
store.
of trains. Just spend the rest of my unemployment money on a shit ton of trains.
Maybe you buy
rent,
trains
fuck
for
my bills.
little. You buy trains at a flea market and then you sell them, and that's going to be your new calling. Or maybe you'll work at a train store.
Maybe. I don't know if there's any train stores. I would be down to work at a train store. I don't know if there's any train stores near me. There's one like by my parents' house.
Area? What made you move to like Bergen County?
Because I was working before everything got shut down. So I was in school out in California. I graduated spring of 2019. I knew I wanted to come like back to the East Coast. So I found a job at a funeral home on the East Coast. I did like online, you know, like Zoom interview stuff. I don't think it was Zoom yet, but you know.
Right.
What do you call it? Skype, whatever
there
was
Skype
a couple
or
years
something
ago.
like that. Yeah.
Did that. I was working there for a few months. And that sucked. Yeah, it was just truly just terrible. But I've been here. I like my apartment. I like where I'm living. I like that it's quiet. I did not want to go like back to Long Island where I grew up, just because I feel like, I don't know, there's so many people who like
everybody who lived on Long Island can't wait to leave. Either you're in one of two camps where either you loved it and you've just got to move back to your hometown, or you hated it and you can't wait to get out of there and you don't understand why anyone wants to be there. So
I mean, I didn't hate it. I go back pretty frequently. I visit my parents probably a couple times a month, especially in the summertime. I like going back to Long Island. The weird thing about Long Island, which is hard to describe, I think, to people who are not from Long Island, is that it's almost like a small town in that everyone knows everyone. You know what I mean?
What I hated about it.
Yeah, because it's like we're all on this island, like literal island, and people don't really go off. Like they'll go to the city, but like, what are you gonna go to like mainland America for? Like, there's no reason to really ever go off.
They stay on Long Island. People may
go to Manhattan. That's the
people
farthest you go.
In Manhattan, but then they go right back to Long Island.
Yeah, why would you go?
They're right on that train, and like people may go to the city like to see a game or to see like a Broadway show, but mainly people just stay on Long Island or they go to Florida for their vacation. But
I was gonna say, yeah,
everybody lives on Long Island. They work on Long Island, and having moved to Hoboken, it's amazing to me that you could go in and out of one state and the next, from New York to New Jersey all day long. Like,
yeah.
And just people on Long Island, they're just it's really frustrating because there basically are either diners, Starbucks, or movies are the main things you can do on Long Island unless you go to the beach. Like, those are your main options. So everybody is just going to get into trouble and be frustrated.
I don't know. I feel like there was a lot. Maybe it's just because I was really close to Queens growing up. Like,
if you're close to Queens, it might be different.
Walking distance. I feel like there's a lot to do. I mean, even out like, out east, there's like malls and shit. I guess when you get to like Suffolk,
It's
there's
true. A
really
mall is great.
nothing, but
I mean, it's true. There are tons of malls and stuff. I guess it's not a lack of activity that's the problem. It's more the people's attitude that's the
yeah.
problem on Long Island.
I just remember when I was in high school, which is, I guess, kind of a long time ago, but I feel like not that long ago, but I guess it was like 15 years ago now. Like train tickets were so cheap. So I would be taking like multiple trains a day. Like I had friends out in Belmore because there was like a punk scene
Yeah,
out
so
in
you
Belmore
get right
at
on
the
that
time.
line
There was a
and
lot
go a
of,
few stops.
yeah, it was I think $2.50 a train ticket for like a round
Damn.
trip to get like it was very cheap. And I think it was a little bit more to get to the city, but it was like $5 or something.
And now it's so
Not
expensive. Now it's like
crazy
$100.
expensive. Yeah, now it's a little bit unmanageable. But back then, I mean, when I was growing, you could easily just like go, like take the Long Island Railroad, go out to the city, like go to wherever on Long Island that you want to go. I feel like people on Long Island have more options than somebody who's like, I don't, in like Arkansas or like truly like in the middle of like,
I mean, Arkansas, you're really
or
screwed because
something.
nobody's vaxxed there. But yeah, it's true. You have a lot more options than someone in Arkansas. It's just
Yeah.
more that small town attitude that everybody
Yeah.
knows everybody and they know your business.
Yeah.
And I want people to not know me. Like,
Yeah.
I want to be somewhere where nobody knows who I am and where I'm not the weirdest person. And there's plenty of other weirdos for people to notice. That's where I want to be.
I just want to be like in the middle of the woods away from everyone. I really, as quiet as it is now where I'm at, I would like quieter. I truly would love a cabin in the woods. What's that?
I think now that I think about it, you need to keep your long hair. Because the reality is that the long hair could be part of your comedy character. And in comedy, we need to be distinguished. We can't be like everybody else if we want to go anywhere in comedy. So,
but at the same time, I can't like I don't know. I feel like for me, that's maybe taking comedy a little bit too seriously. I'm probably not going to make it. The thousands of hundreds of other people that I talk to and daily and see at open mics and like do podcasts and stuff with, we're not going to freaking make it. None of us are the next Kevin Hart or Dave Chappelle or, whoever. So like, I'm not going to base my appearance around this hobby that I do. You know what I mean? Like that's a little too extreme for me. I do have some jokes about my hair, but at the same time, like I'm willing to sort of throw that away if it means, not looking like this.
I mean, in a way, it's good that you have that attitude about the comedy, that you say, I'm not going to make it.
I'm thinking like maybe right a little, like shoulder, maybe a couple inches more than shoulder, but like right here. Like, let's see if I can sort of do it's kind of hard, but you know what I'm saying? Like something like right.
Yeah.
I don't know. It would have to be after Halloween. So I guess this would be like around November.
Yeah, around
never the time I want to get a haircut because my hair keeps me so warm in the winter time. So this will probably be pushed off till spring or something.
So March of 2022.
Yeah, maybe. I was gonna say 2021, and I'm like,
that's over. But it feels like time is kind of frozen.
No sense of time. I don't know what day it is anymore. Like I don't really need a sense of like what time it is or what day it is. Like if I have something going on, I'll like put it in my phone, I'll get a little notification. But it doesn't matter to me. Is it Wednesday? Is it Saturday? I mean, I know right now, I'm pretty sure that it's Saturday.
It's Saturday.
Yeah, but it makes no difference to me. So because I don't know where I went with that. Just time.
I mean, if you're working, obviously, no, but in the height of the pandemic, when nothing was open and nobody was going anywhere, and I was like to my friend, you want to talk on the phone? I said, I think I might be able to fit it in between taking a shower and going to the mailbox. Yeah. I might be able to fit in a phone
between call. Waking up and going back to sleep. I'll try to squeeze something in. Like honestly, if I watched like a single dish, I was like, fuck yeah.
No, but it's true that like I had a cutoff point. Like I tried to do things that were useful. And I said by 5 o'clock, that's when I can start watching binging the Netflix stuff. But before 5, I have to do meaningful stuff. But then work started up
That's
more
good.
like in June. So then I was busy all the time. But it's true, we have like a cutoff point of when, but some people don't. Some people get right up and start binge watching right away.
I'm that person. Honestly, even like when I was working, I am someone who I like to have a couple hours in the morning. So I
Where
would
you
rather
just
wake
chill.
up very early. Yeah. I would much rather do that, like wake up really early and like watch a couple show, like whatever new episodes from the night before or whatever. Do that in the morning and then take a shower, like eat something, really be able to like chill and take my time, and then like get home and like go right to bed, or like go to a mic and then like get home at like 9 and
Do you like the
go
mics
right
or
to
no?
sleep. What's that?
Do you like the mics?
Yeah, I try to do a couple a week. I was doing just Zoom stuff over the winter time.
Sure.
But now I'll try to do like 1 or 2 a week. There was a while there where for like 2 months I was booked like every weekend. But now I'm not anymore. I have
You
nothing in
were
the
booked on
future, so I'm
shows
just
every
trying to.
weekend.
Yeah.
Damn.
There was a
Hot
couple things
stuff.
in July that I had to cancel that I was sick for, which really sucked. I had that, there was that summer cold that was going around. And I got tested for COVID and it wasn't COVID.
I believe I had that too.
Yeah, oh, it
I
sucked.
believe I had like a summer cold, but I felt like, I don't know. I feel like a new thing is cough shaming. Like like cough shaming is like the new fat shaming. Almost where like I didn't like having to cough or sneeze because I thought people would say I had COVID, but nobody did because I guess I don't, because I'm like so athletic. I just don't seem like the type of person that would go down to COVID. Like
You never know, man. It really gets like some random people
it's
sometimes.
true. Did you have COVID or no?
No, knock on wood. I don't think so, as far as I
It's
know.
true that like I
In
don't think I
January
had it, but it's true
2020.
that any of us could have had it and not been aware of it.
Well, in January 2020, I was very sick, like the worst chest cold I've ever had in my life. For like 3 weeks, I was like down for the count, like bad. And this was before we were really hearing any news about it or anything like that.
Sure.
I mean, I wonder if that was what it was. I mean, it could have just been like a really bad, like chest cold. But that really sucked. But they say like COVID is usually a dry cough, but my sister got COVID and she was coughing stuff up. So I'm like, I don't know.
I
For
mean,
a
it's
while,
hard
I
to
was
know.
like,
I
me.
guess it doesn't matter. In a
Yeah.
way, it doesn't matter because if you're alive and kicking, that's what counts.
Well, my sister got COVID and she was around me. What happened was my parents were they were down in Florida. That's what it was, because my grandma was one of the first, like sort of the first peaks. She passed away from COVID in like April. It was either March or April of 2020. And so for a long time, my parents couldn't get down there. So it was like the fall of 2020, or maybe even the winter time. Maybe it was this past January, now that I think about it. But I was house sitting and pet sitting for my parents while they went down to Florida. And while I was doing that, my sister had to stop at our parents' house to like drop some stuff off. So we're like, oh, let's have a sister night. Like we got some food. We like watched some movies and stuff. She slept over. We didn't sleep in the same bed, obviously, because we have, our own rooms that still have beds in them. But the next morning she wakes up, she's sick. She goes to urgent care, gets a COVID test. She's positive. Like, fuck, literally. And
like,
so, yeah. And I had to drive her back to Brooklyn because she had like taken, actually, she shares a car with my dad. I feel like this is unnecessary information that I'm giving to the story.
But
she shares a car with my dad, so she was dropping the car off for him.
Back to Brooklyn.
Yes, exactly.
So you're like,
so then I
am
ended up
dead.
having to quarantine either way. I never got tested or anything like that because I was feeling fine. And I'm like, well, I don't want to like go to a
I
testing
felt the
center or
same
go
way. Like
somewhere.
I felt like the
Yep.
fastest way to get COVID was to go to the COVID testing center with all
Right.
those
Yeah,
spots. I was like,
exactly. So I'm like, if I'm
what's wrong
feeling
But there's
fine, I'm
people I
quarant.
know who got tested all the time
Yeah.
because
I mean,
they like
I was
being
feeling
miserable.
okay. I was quarantining anyway. So that like, I live alone. It didn't really
I always have
affect
to
too
laugh
much of
at
my life. What?
I always have to laugh at the quarantine thing because like what were people doing anyway when they're like, you have to quarantine? I'm like, is there anything to do anyway? Like, how much
Yeah.
difference does it even make? Like, in the height of COVID, when nothing was open, how much difference? But we're going to have to wrap this up
Okay.
in a bit. So, do you have anything to add or anything you want to promote? Like, maybe.
You can check out my Instagram. Like I said, I don't have anything coming up right now. So if you want to book me, hit me up. My
And what's your
Instagram is Katie.
Instagram?
It's Katie Blue Comedy. So that's KATIEBLU comedy. No E in blue. That's pretty much, I don't really do Twitter. People say that I should. I have one, but I never
Yeah.
really use it. Same for TikTok. Like I have it, but I never really use it. I'm on Instagram a lot though.
Yeehaw. All right. So
Yeah.
we will book Katie. Katie.
I'm kind of funny, even though I
And we'll
super
book your
wasn't
hair.
this
That's all you
morning.
need. I mean, because so many people are completely unfunny and they get booked. So all you really need is to be
Yeah.
kind of funny and you
Check out
show
my
up and you're
YouTube, I
vaccinated.
guess.
What?
I am vaccinated, double vax, baby, getting ready for a booster.
Me
I guess
too.
check out my YouTube. Also, I feel like if you just search Katie Blue in YouTube, I will
You're
probably
gonna come
come up. I've never tried it, but I'm sure it would. I have a lot of videos of like, I have a tight 5, I have a 15, I have like a 10-ish. So I have a
The
decent
tight
amount
5,
of
I
videos.
always thought that sounded kind of funny. Like
Yeah.
a tight 5. Like I'm really tight.
I feel like a tight 10 rolls off the tongue a little bit better.
It's true, but like, I don't know. I feel like my goal, I always laughed at that when people are like, you got to get your tight 5. I'm like, how about a tight hour? I'd like to get a tight hour.
That's kind of how I feel about it too. Because it's like you get the tight
Like
5
a
and it's
tight
like, okay,
5,
like
I'm
now
like,
what? I'm going around doing this 5 minutes. I know it's good. I know it's funny. What else? Like, what else is there now?
because I started doing comedy like probably I started doing comedy when my father was on his last legs. And he's like, what do you mean you're going to drive all this time and you're going to go into the city and drive 2 hours into the city to do 5 minutes? He's like,
Yeah.
That's not much bang. But yeah, sadly, for most shows you do, you'll get 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like there aren't many shows that are going to give you like more than 10. And
that's like if you're getting a show,
like,
there's no mics that give you more than 10. That would be insane. If you get
I mean, no,
if you get a show,
but like a show,
yeah.
I feel like I don't know that there are even any shows that are going to give you more than 10 unless you're like have a lot of credits.
I don't know. I've been doing 15 lately and I have absolutely no credits at all. I've never been 15. On anything.
So where were you booked? Now
I've been doing a lot of stuff in Jersey. So I went all the way down to Haddonfield, which I don't think I'm ever going to do again.
It's close to Cherry Hill,
It was really nice. It was just very far. What's that?
Haddonfield, yeah, that's close to Cherry Hill.
It was that's like South Jersey, like past Trenton. Like it was really far.
That was close to Princeton.
I don't even know where.
But how
I'm like so unfamiliar.
Sometimes I really think that is like the trick to I think that's the trick to getting booked at the beginning is to be willing to go where no man will go.
Yeah.
Like in a way, it's better to try other, because when you think about it in New York City, there's so many comics that want to be on a show and they can only put so many on.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're willing to go to like the Haddonfields of the world, it's, and we get better by performing more.
I'm trying to think. I think all of my paid shows have been outside of New York City. I'm trying to think. I'm like, I've done a couple shows in New York City, but I don't think I got paid. So anything I ever
It's
got
true.
paid
I
for
would
was
think
out of
that's
the
true
city.
for me too, that anything I did was outside the city.
Yeah.
It's probably just, like I said, getting booked on something that's within the city, you probably have to be willing to not get paid and to, unless you're like a superstar. But
There's just a lot, like, I mean, like I said before, there's a lot of comics that are taking comedy a little too seriously. And,
the thing is, like, I'm just shocked that I'm really shocked at is that people take comedy so seriously. Like, it's just like, I don't know.
I think people have to, like, I don't know, sometimes just take a breath and think, like, if I was playing
Because
like
it's true that for
baseball with
some
my
people,
friends, I don't need to be trying to make it on the Yankees to play baseball. You know what I mean? And it's okay if
it's
I'm
true
never going
that
to be
we
on the
need,
Yankees, I can enjoy playing baseball, but I think that people in comedy
it's true
don't
we need
really
kind of a
enjoy it.
balance. Like, we need kind of a balance in our life where otherwise we have nothing to even joke about. If you spend your whole life in a comedy club, there's not anything to joke about. You need to do things like a Yankee game, but just
No, it's not even that. I mean, I don't mean
don't
it as
know.
like literally go out and play baseball. I mean it more of like an
I
analogy
get
of
like
like,
too easily
yeah.
discouraged.
I think just people don't like, I don't know. They just take it too seriously. Like I said, like,
It's true. Like, people spend all their time and they like see someone post and they're like, I need to do this show. Like,
I
someone
feel
will
like a lot
post
of
a picture
comedians
of their
don't even enjoy it. They're just trying to do it because they want to, I don't know, like make it or
say that
something
they
like
did.
that. And it's like, well, if you're not doing this because you like doing this, why are you doing this? Like,
It's true. Like, if you're just doing it to say, well, look, and I'm this and I'm that, and look at what I'm booked on, and that's your whole aim, and you're not deriving pleasure, it's kind of like, I don't know, when we were younger and maybe people like, did stuff like, people like, let's face it, when people younger, maybe people had sex just to say they were doing it. And like, maybe they weren't enjoying it anyway. But I feel like people do like kind of, we can't take sometimes we do like lose the joy of anything and it's not fun anymore. It's just a grind, and nothing should be a grind.
if you're just trying to like be famous, just make like the world's biggest pizza or something like that. I feel like there are
It's true. You
easier
could do
ways
almost anything
to
to become
go.
famous.
Yeah, there are
Almost
definitely
anything
easier
might make
things
you
to do.
famous. Like, I have been on television like a couple of times for like the man on the street, where they would just ask a man on the street questions. The first time it was for something boring. It was for whatchamacallit, about traffic. Like, someone from News 12 asked me about traffic, and that was boring. The second time it was about like a birth control you could get over the phone. And that was a little more exciting, at least to talk about. But I got
Get
a
my birth control
WV11 for
online.
that one. So, I mean, it's not as hard as you think it is to become renowned, but
I'm not sure that's renowned, but
what?
yeah, I get what you're saying. People go on TikTok and do like the stupidest shit and have like a
It's true.
million
You can
views.
become a YouTube
And yeah,
sensation. Like, you don't need to be grinding it out at open mics and at comedy clubs if it's not something you love.
yeah.
Like, if it's
I mean, I
something
guess
you
it's
love,
not
you
that easy,
absolutely
but
should do
or else
it.
everyone.
What?
I said, I guess it's not that easy, or else I guess everyone would. I feel like every kid wants to be a YouTube star now. But I don't know. Like I said, like if that's your goal, I feel like there are easier ways to go about it. Like, I don't know. I'm
You
just
could
thinking
also
in
just
terms
rob
of
a
like
bank.
world records. I feel like there are world records that you could break that you don't necessarily have to be very good at something. You just have to be very devoted to it. So it's like,
It's
I don't
true,
know,
lots of
knitting the
things, like
world's
that
longest
game.
scarf or something like that. Like that
It's
doesn't
true, like how they
necessarily
played
take.
that game on Friends where they threw the thing around and they didn't drop it or whatever. Like, it could be
Yeah,
something like that.
yeah, not necessarily something that like takes a lot of skill, just something that you'd be willing to devote like the effort and the time to. And I feel like if people are like going out to comedy clubs and like paying $5 for 5 minutes on the mic, which when I tell that to my musician friends, it blows their mind. You have to pay to perform. That's crazy.
It's true. Like, I really think it's crazy that you basically have to pay to work. Like, on what other industry? So this is my car. The reason I had to switch settings is because I'm out of the meter.
I know we said goodbye like I don't know 15 minutes ago and kept going. I'm sorry about that.
No, because that's city life for you, where the meter rules conversations. Where see, look at, but basically, you know, you could have people in the city and they could be like talking like a date or whatever, and the girl would be like, I've got to go. And the guy would be like, did I say something wrong? And she's like, no, but the meter's running out. And it really
I risk the meter sometimes, honestly. Like if I'm at a show, I will risk the meter sometimes, honestly. And I'm probably jinxing myself just saying this. But like, yeah, if I'm like at a show or something and like, I don't know, then like it goes till like 7 o'clock and I have enough money for like 6:45. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm risking the 15 minutes. What are the odds for all of the millions of cars in New York City that a meter maid is the one that gets a ticket? Yeah. So that's probably not the best way to think about things sometimes, but I do kind of risk it sometimes. I'm just like, whatever. I don't really need to put money in this meter. So
it's true, right? So, I mean, Hoboken, they own you because all day you have to pay for parking if you're not a resident. And I haven't gotten a DMV appointment because there are none.
Oh my gosh, I know. Yeah.
There are no DMV appointments anytime you go on. They say they become available at midnight, but they don't. So basically you pay for parking all day long. So it's like cheaper not to be home in Hoboken. Unless it's Sunday. Sunday you don't have to pay, but all the other days from 9 to 9, you're paying for the parking if you don't live there. So
damn. We have a parking lot
right?
Here.
They own you.
Thank goodness.
And they own you in Hoboken with the parking, but it's otherwise a really nice place to live.
I like Hoboken.
What?
I said I like Hoboken.
I'm trying to plan some shows there to get a few of the local restaurants or bars to agree to do a comedy show. Yeah, it's a good place. But people are retarded. They're like, I'm in Southwest Hoboken. I'm like, lady, it's a square mile. It's just Hoboken. It's not Southwest Hoboken. I'm in Southwest.
We have a lot of parking in my apartment, thank goodness. And there was a point when my car was in the shop and I had a rental car, and I was so worried about my car being towed. I freaking called a bunch of times. I emailed a bunch of times. They were not getting back to me. The woman like who does the, I don't know, the managing stuff of the apartment building finally got back to me. She's like, oh, you're fine. Your car will be fine. They don't really they don't do that.
It's true that in some places they don't care about signs,
but they don't ever come back, I guess. And so it was not an issue. And I'm like, okay, this is good to know, because I have never wanted to have people like overnight before. I've always been worried about parking because I've been like, your car could get towed. And so good to know that that actually does not happen ever.
Yeah, because it sucks if like it rules your life. Like, you don't want to be have to worried about that. But let me tell you, you go to the tow pound, that's the end.
Well, I had a neighbor who she since moved out. Actually, it was a couple and the man is still here. They broke up and she's gone. But she told me that her car got towed. He has since told me that her car was not towed, it was repossessed. And so that's kind of what really scared me. I was like, oh shit, they're towing cars back here, like fuck. And I was scared about that for a while until he told me, oh, her car was not towed. She stopped paying and it got repossessed. And I'm like, oh,
I could totally see that. Better. I could totally see someone being like, oh no, poor me, my car got towed. I'm like, no, you just didn't make the payments. Like you
I was
easily
trying to
could have
like help her
avoided it.
out. I was like, you should contact like the office, like let them know they should pay for your fee. Like you live here, that's fucked up. I was like trying to like fight for her just to find out months later. And like I feel you though, I probably would kind of be embarrassed too. And I probably would be like, my
It's
car
true.
got
We'd all
towed.
be embarrassed if our car got repossessed. Especially, I've seen like I actually saw it happening once, where like I saw the repo man taking it away. Like it's embarrassing if your car gets taken away, especially if you're like a guy and you're on a date trying to impress a girl, and then boom.
Or if like if
You're
you
like,
got
oh,
shit in there, like
let's
they
go
don't
for a
care.
ride. Oh wait. Or like if you get interlock ignition where on your car, like if you get a DWI, that's gonna be embarrassing if you're taking someone like on a date or
Yeah,
something
you have
like
to
that.
blow.
I mean, I had cell control, which is different, where if you get too many cell phone tickets, they put cell control on you, which means your phone is disabled while you're driving.
Shut up. No, it's
It
not.
is. It's a true thing. And if you do that, you avoid getting the ticket or the points.
What? And you did
Really? And so not only is that like, that's not so annoying because you can always like pull over, I think, and restart it. But like they know then like exactly where you go. Like it, and also it gives you a report card of your driving, and it's like you braked too hard here. I'm like, shut up. Like
I'm not into
leave me
that,
alone. It
man.
gets like really annoying. Like it gives you a driving score. Like, but they don't
Wait, is
see
this
that
from your insurance company or is this
through
like
the court.
the
Like
state
if
of
you
New
get a
Jersey?
ticket
Oh my
in
God.
Nassau County, if you get a ticket in Nassau County for driving with your cell phone, you can do cell control for 90 days and then you don't get the points. But you still
I'll
have
take the
to pay.
fucking points. I'll do a driver's course. You're not, no, that sounds super dangerous.
I know, but
No.
you can override it and stuff. They don't mind if you override it and use the phone. They just don't want you to kill cell control and disable it. Like if you disable the device, you can't do that, but you can override it and use the phone. So there's really no point in it. But if you got a ticket
That's
while on cell control, I
crazy.
think you'd be really fucked.
Damn.
But yeah,
Wow.
it's that it was just annoying to see the report card and how it like graded your driving. I'm like, I feel badly enough about
I'm
myself
very
already.
freaked out right now, honestly.
I don't need someone grading my driving.
Oh my God, that's so weird.
Yeah, if you ever get a cell ticket in Nassau, like you always have that option. Because basically the county and stuff, they don't want to really give people points and stuff. They just want your money. Like basically what it amounts to is they want as much of your money as they can
Yeah.
get. Well,
That's
cool. Well,
sort of blowing my mind. Yeah.
it's true. I had
Like,
this
wow.
device in my car and like I had to turn the damn thing on. And my mom's like, maybe you should keep it going for a while. I was like,
Did you have to pay to get it
that would be
installed?
called what?
You have to pay to get it installed? I know people
You
have to
have
do
to
that with
pay
the
for the
breathalyzer.
device and it's easy to install. You just kind of stick it on the mirror. It's not complicated to install it, but it's just like
How much was the
annoying.
device, if you don't mind me asking?
What?
How much was the device, if you don't mind me asking?
120, probably around that, I want to say. I mean, it was a while ago. I don't truly remember, but it was probably like 120.
Damn, that's crazy. I got a ticket recently, a $50 ticket for speeding. I was going 35 and a 25. And I'm like, fuck, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's like
But that's only 10 miles over.
It was a camera that got me. I didn't get pulled over.
The camera, you can't fight the camera. It's like if someone, the camera's harder to beat. If the camera catches you, what are you going to say? The camera's broken.
There's no fighting it. Yeah. So, I mean, it's not the worst. I mean, $50 is not super bad for a ticket, you know, no points or anything like that.
It's true. It could be more.
Yeah. But damn. And I feel like I'm always very careful about that too. I'm always like, oh, school, like I see a school zone, I'm gonna fucking slow the fuck down. Like I'm pretty good.
Sometimes there are errors. I think it's all a scam.
Yeah.
I think there are mistakes in it.
Well, there was the scandal in Nassau County a while back, right? That the red light tickets were like going off too early or whatever. And
I'm sure, look, the county just needs money. Everything, that's the idea behind everything, is that the county needs people's money. So that's why they're going to put all these things in. And they
defund
just
the
want to get your money.
police. Nassau County Police does not need any more motherfucking money.
I mean, it's
They're
true,
like
you gotta wonder, right?
militarized. What?
Like with the taxes as high as they are, like in Nassau, like how could they be short money where they need all this money?
And like, what are you doing? Like harassing Black teenagers that are loitering?
It's true,
Like, what
like-
are you doing in Nassau County? Like, you do
It's
not.
true, like
need
what
to
does
fucking
Nassau have
loiter.
that it needs, that the police department needs so much money? It's not like there are like gangs or lots of murders or anything. It's true. They basically harass Black teenagers.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
there
there
are
are-
certain parts of Long Island that are like not super great, but like it's like you said, it's not like people are like
It's
getting
mainly an okay,
murdered.
safe place, but
Yeah, it's not
When
like
you're
I
on
don't know,
Long
like the
Island, that's
streets
the
of
other thing is-
Philadelphia where people are like on drugs, zombified out in the streets, like robbing people and shit. It's not that bad.
But that's
so.
the thing, because nothing ever happens on Long Island. It's like if you're walking somewhere, right? Then the police might stop and be like, well, why are you walking? Are you
Yeah.
okay? What if you just wanted to go walking, but they just have nothing to do? So they'll just do things like, well, I see you're walking.
Oh my gosh, I remember when we were a teenager, we would hang out in town, which is like, in our neighborhood was like the small strip that had like a couple shops and stuff on it.
Yeah.
That's where all the teens would hang out in like big groups, and they'd be like, no loitering, no. So we'd move a block down, and then 15 minutes later, they'd come down and be like, no loitering, no loitering. So we'd move to the other spot, and just go like back. It was so stupid and so pointless. And it's like, we weren't really even doing anything. We were just like kids, we weren't drinking. We were like, 13, 12, we weren't being, crazy hoodlums.
It's true. They have to interfere with fun.
There was no reason for them to have to be fucking with us like that. But
Well, cool.
yeah.
Well, Katie, I think we're going to say goodbye. This has
right.
been really nice, and we'll have
Yeah.
to do it again. And you've been wonderful.
Thank you so much. And
Great job.
Me and my hair will take your tips into consideration.
Okay, thank
We're
you
gonna
so
need to
much.
cut off a couple inches either way. Like this
We'll have to do a
has-
follow-up where we show the picture of the hair.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Bye.